Hello, this is Dr. D. And let's take a few minutes to go over what you need to know about taking online quizzes. Perfect practice makes perfect. Make sure that you're well prepared before the quiz. Make sure you've done your previewing, your reading, your studying, that you've done lots of practice problems, the problems in the book after each section, and the problems at the end of the chapter. If we're using ALEKS, make sure that you've done those problems. Be ready to take the test. It's like going to the game, and you want to have all your practice done ahead of time. And so, perfect practice makes perfect. So make sure you know how to work these problems and that you understand the theory behind everything. To come in unprepared just because it's an online quiz isn't going to help you any. Have your computer ready for the exam. Make sure that you've got a good internet connection, that you're in a good quiet place where you can take the exam without interruption, without distractions. Check out your internet connection beforehand. Make sure you've gathered together all your allowed resources. A periodic table, a calculator, and pencil and paper. Have those at the ready next to your computer where you're at so you can, when you're ready to start, you're not losing time, especially on a time quiz or test that you could be using to actually take the test as opposed to gathering these materials. So only launch the quiz or test when you're ready to begin. That you've got your periodic table, your calculator, your pad and pencil. So you might want to go over the entire test and answer the less challenging questions first. If there are a number of theoretical multiple choice questions, you may want to do those and save the calculations for later. Don't spend a lot of time on theoretical multiple choice questions because you'll want to save that budget that time for working your calculations. Use the test to your advantage. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes you can find an answer or a hint or a clue in a different problem on the test that might help you back on a problem that you're stuck on. If you're wanting to know the atomic symbol for a particular element, it might be used with a name somewhere else on the test, and so you can do that. If you're trying to remember a constant, it may be found somewhere else on the test. And so use the test to your advantage. Use the process of elimination when you're taking a multiple choice test or answering multiple choice questions on an online test. Sometimes there are answers that are just totally out of the realm of possibility. And so you can cross those off right off the bat. And so if you've got a choice of 4 different answers on multiple choice test, if you can eliminate one of them, and then you're down to guessing, 1 out of 3 chance is better than 1 out of 4. If you can eliminate 2 of them, 1 out of 2 chance is a whole lot better. If you can eliminate all 3, then that's all the better. But beware, a lot of times when taking a test, there are answers, if it's multiple choice and it happens to also be a calculation, maybe they will have the inverse of the answer or the negative of the answer, or they may not have changed the temperature from Celsius to Kelvin. And so make sure you look through all the possibilities when it's a multiple choice test. Make sure you read each question carefully. You may want to just silently whisper the question out to yourself. Make sure you're looking for what they're after. And if it's a calculation, make sure that you understand what the answer you're looking for, what the units are that are associated with that answer. Pay attention to the clock. If it's a time test and a quiz, say you got 10 minutes, or a test that you got 50 minutes, just like in any class testing situation, budget your time wisely. Do the easy questions first, then come back and do the harder ones. So as you're taking this test, if there's a clock on the computer that you can see, there may be a clock on the quiz. If there is on Oaks, it'll tell you what the elapsed time is and possibly the remaining time that you have. If not, make sure you've got a watch or a clock nearby that you can know when your time will be up. And utilize all the tools that are available to you. Once again, you got a periodic table, use it. It's the world's greatest reference material. Have your calculator. You may be able to add numbers real readily or multiply something easily in your head, and that's fine. Go ahead and do it, but you will want to come back and check with your calculator just to make sure. And have your use your pad and pencil. And I cannot emphasize that enough. To use your paper and pencil. And when you use it wisely. And so write out the problem number. And if there's a formula, write out the formula. And write out all the parts, all the steps of your calculation. Make sure you include those units. And as you're going through working the problem, make sure the units cancel out correctly. And that you wind up with the desired units of your answer. Check your answers to make sure that they make logical sense, that it's plus or minus a ballpark or astronomical unit, possibly, that it's got the right units. If you don't have the right units, you cannot have the right answer to the problem. And also check your significant figures. And so pretend like you're teaching me as you're using this pad and pencil. Be as explicit as possible. That will help you as you go back and check to make sure that you've got the right, that you're on the pathway to getting the right answer. Don't just scribble things down. And it's not just with calculations, but with other problems. If you're talking about atomic orbitals and what the shape of them, you might draw out what an s orbital looks like versus a p orbital versus a d orbital. And so use your scratch paper. Keep it neat. If you're going to wind up submitting it to me, which oftentimes you will, it'll be important that it's legible so that I can go back and give you partial credit. If it's not legible, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, and I'm not going to spend any time trying to dig through it to give you some partial credit. And that's why not just legible, but understandable. And so use your paper and pencil. It's really important. It's to your advantage. This may be one of the biggest mistakes that students use on an online test, or for that matter, if you're in a face-to-face test and it's a standardized test. Use your pencil, paper and pencil. It's really, really important. So these have been some hints about taking online quizzes and tests. I hope they're a benefit to you. And after you've taken your quiz or test online, I'm more than happy to go back over that test with you. If we're using OAKS, I can pull up your test and look at your answers that were recorded by the computer. If you saved your scratch paper, or if you've submitted your scratch paper, which will often be the case, I can go back and we can look to see where your misstep might have been. So good luck on all your quizzes and tests this semester, and I hope this video will have been of benefit to you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.